Hello, Angie. I can make videos outside too. So, I have Shine, Shine, Shine by Lydia Netzer to talk about today. Fun fact about her, she was born in Detroit. It's sort of a fun fact for Michigan people. This book is going to be coming out on sale this month, I believe on the 17th, but don't quote me on that. I got to read it early because my job occasionally has fun perks. So, this book starts off with Sunny, who is she seems like your average suburban housewife. She lives in this nice house, lots of money. Her husband, at the start of the story, is actually going to the moon to help start a moon colony. He's building and engineering the robots. And so she is by herself, and she is pregnant, and she has a dying mother and an autistic son, but she's still trying really, really hard to force this concept of normalcy on herself and her family. And very early on, she gets into a car accident, and it turns out that she has been wearing a wig because it flies off her head in the accident, and the entire neighborhood sees that she is, in fact, bald. So that's kind of a big moment for her, because then she doesn't put the wig back on. And from the moment she takes the wig off and leaves it off, she starts seeing the world in a completely different way. Like before, she wasn't really coming to terms with the fact that her mother was dying, and suddenly she's, this really hits her. And it also hits her that maybe she's been doing the wrong thing for her son, and maybe she shouldn't be sending him to this school where they want to force all of this medication and special testing on him, and that maybe she should stop trying to fix him. And she's also forced to look at the fact that she's really let her relationship with her husband go to a place where she really never wanted it to go. It talks about their childhood together, and how they grew up and started, they had moments together in high school, and it goes through their whole relationship, and you see how most of the time it was this really wonderful, loving thing, and then you see what it is in it, currently, and it kind of explains, how they got there, who they used to be, and who she is now, who she's become, and how she became that person. And then once the wig comes off, it talks about how she kind of reevaluates her life and everything in it. I sometimes found it really hard to relate to Sunny. I understood the whole getting so absorbed in your own issues and your own concerns that you end up pushing the people that you really love and want to be close to away from you, but that I had a hard time comprehending her sometimes, and it kind of made her hard to like. My favorite character is her husband, Maxon. Maxon is this really intelligent, really awkward, but amazing person. And sometimes, you understand getting kind of frustrated with him because he's just really odd and awkward, and he's always wrong-footed, and he's bad in social situations. But at the same time, when you get inside his head and you get to know him, he is so in love with her. He's so loving, he's completely loyal, he's completely forgiving, and he has this really interesting outlook on the world. There's a chapter where he talks about how he builds the robots that he's building and the philosophy that he uses to build them, and it really just plays into the way that he views people and the world, and it's so interesting to see that from his perspective. One thing I didn't like so much about the book was the fact that they really, they kept talking about how bald she was. She has this genetic thing, and she was born with no hair, and I understood how it was really important for, because her wig coming off and her being hairless, it just changes everything for her. So I understood that it was important, and I didn't mind them reiterating it occasionally, but at some point I kind of got sick of reading about how, baldly bald and bald she was, and she's so bald, and everyone else has all this hair, and she's so bald, and she doesn't have any hair. And I was like, okay, I get it. She doesn't have any freaking hair. Let's move on. I would definitely recommend this book, but you have to be willing to stick with it. It takes a while to get into. The first couple chapters are really slow. They kind of don't draw you in. And actually, until almost halfway through the book, I wasn't even sure if I liked it or not. But once I hit that almost halfway point where I got really into the characters and the story, I couldn't stop reading it. So I guess I'll be signing off now.